Hello and welcome to my channel, Vintage Elegance Inspiration. This is Karen here. I hope you're all having a great day, getting prepared for Thanksgiving right now, and Christmas is around the corner. What I want to share with you today is my trifold Christmas tag ephemera folder, or folio, because it is a trifold. And what inspired me to make this was I bought a beautiful beaded bookmark at a vintage market, and I thought, I can make those. So I was a little ambitious. I started out making them for family and friends, and now I have a list of 22 to 24 people. And what was I gonna wrap them in? They're quite heavy because these beads are metal and the glass beads. So I need something supportive. And I just came up with this little folio, and I thought they would be easy to make and that you might like to watch how I do them. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to open this one up. These three are for my daughters. They don't know that yet, but they're coming. And I've chosen these beads for them because I did give them a sneak peek and asked them which colors they liked, and they all went for this beautiful sapphire cobalt blue. And I've tied them with sari silk. Also, I will add that these are not conventional colors for Christmas so much. I like unusual things. For years, I would make every Christmas card in a sort of an eggplant and gold combination. And then the last few years, I've done pink Christmas, which is beautiful. I still absolutely love it. And this year, what inspired me, first of all, once I was rounding up all the supplies to make these bead bookmarks was the beads that were available. So that determined which decorative papers I was going to use. And of course, absolutely have to use some vintage lace and some charms. And I just think they turned out really sweet. So they are a 4x7. And I did build a gusset into them on each side. So you can add to these little folios as much as you want and tuck other goodies in there. So on the front, we've got two tags. I did a decoupage with the Tim Holtz Christmas collage paper. I must add too that this, I don't know what they've got in the ink this year for the black, but if the iron was too hot, it started to bleed right through. So it did smear a little bit on some of them, but it just adds to the aged effect, I think. And I've done them on, most of them were ready-made tags that I had because it was just easier. When you're mass producing something, it's so much easier if you don't have to make them from scratch. But about 6 of them I did. Tied at the top with some vintage lace and another little tiny tag and some angels on a charm ball pin. And then this idea I got from watching a lady on Instagram, and I will tag her in my description below because I thought they were just absolutely adorable. I just used vintage sheet music, and what I did was I did the back as well. She didn't, but I chose to do that, and I used my Kraft and just cut it up for the base of the trunk, and then it's almost like a popsicle stick because it's sturdy. And I did some glossy accents and the distress powder from Tim Holtz, and it's the one color, it's the dust, it's the distressed dust. It's just so fine. Put a little charm at the top of each one and just some baker's twine at the top. So those two go on the front, and some vintage lace, which I just sewed on there, and it's like a belly band. And then inside, you've got vintage sheet music, a couple of small tags. You can just tuck whatever you want in there. I did some dry embossing and some stamping in the Versamark, the dark grape, purple color. These tags I've made before, and I just found some sweet fibers to put on the top in very light pink and this sort of holographic white. I love it. Just gorgeous. Some embossing with gold ink and gold powder, and then some little rhinestones there. And then this side, it's got room to tuck all kinds of things. So you've got one there, and then these are inside, and they are the same pattern paper as the covers. I used mostly Heartfelt Creations, one or two of their, I think, Celebrate the Season, because that's what I had, and they were purple and blue, and they just went so beautifully with my beads. So yeah, you can tuck whatever you want in there. Some book page here. You could attach this flap if you wanted it to be more permanent. You could also put another pocket on this side. You could add a pocket on the back. There's all kinds of things you could do to make it yours, and it would hold a lot more. But yes, there is a 1/8 inch gusset on these, just so that they could handle the thickness of what I wanted to put inside. So that's just a peek at the finished product, and now I'm going to show you how I made them. So what I started with was some Kraft paper, Kraft colored paper that was thin, very thin, because I knew I was going to be adding cardstock front and back, well, the sheet music and book page, and then all of the tags would weigh a lot more. Also, some of these are going overseas. I've got some international postage to go to friends, so I wanted to keep the weight down as much as I could. So I took 8.5 by 11 Kraft paper and then just cut it to 7 inches instead of 8.5. So basically I scored at, and then after I cut them all, I scored it at 4 inches, 4 1/8, and then 8 1/8 and 8 1/4. And that way you get your trifold. So easy peasy. So what I have here are the components, and I will write these in the description below so that you don't have to keep watching, stopping and starting the video if you're interested in making one for yourself. You can see the gussets a little bit easier on my prototype here. So yeah, each panel is 4 inches, and then this one is 2.5, a little bit more than 2.5. So what I'm going to do now is glue these on. I have already pre-inked the music sheet and the book page. I was really fortunate over this summer. I went thrift shopping, secondhand shopping, and got these giant Christmas songbooks, music sheet, for $1 each. So even though it was summer, you don't need them. You buy them when you see them for $1. Things like that are really, really helpful. So what I should probably do though is remove, or let's just put some paper beneath this so I won't get ink or glue on my backdrop here. Alrighty. So these inner pieces, what I did was I made them 1/8 of an inch smaller. So each side is 4 by 7. So the pieces that I cut were 6 7/8 by 3 7/8, so that they would just fit neatly inside. You follow? Right on. Okay. And my glue is here. I noticed that I kind of need to refill it, so hopefully it's going to last through this project. You can use any decorative paper that you want. If you want to jazzy it all up and do it fancy inside and out, go for it. I like the effect of a neutral background. That's why I use the vintage sheet music. And I used the Christmas carols, like I said, just so it gives the vibe of Christmas. And those will fit neatly inside and still have room to fold your sides in. For this one, I have chosen something a little different in the way of the decorative paper, just for variety. But the beads that I had, I used up everything that I had sourced out ahead of time. And so I had some that were a little bit smaller and more like green and blue and a bit of yellow. So I thought I should change the paper a bit, and I thought this paper matched a little bit better. Typically, I'm not a red and green Christmas person whatsoever. I don't really like that combination. But vintage Christmas, I love. Love, love, love. I know red is a beautiful Christmas color. I admire it when other people use it, but I tend to do burgundy or, like I said, the eggplant color. Okay, this one goes on the inside here. That's basically just to cover it up. You could leave it uncovered if you intend to glue this whole flap down. Okay, and then these we'll put over here, flip it over, and then this is going to be your front. So you decide which image you want on your front, and I'm going to do it like this. And I did ink the edges just a little bit. Super easy, as you can see. It's just cutting, folding, gluing, and then the work is in making all of the tags. And the more elaborate you make them, the more time it takes. I mean, you could put whatever you want inside. I just thought it would make a nice package together with the bookmarks. And I hope my friends and family like them. I don't get too many complaints. Just kidding. I really do like to make handmade gifts. They take time, but it also tells people that you put effort and thought into hand making something personal for them and choosing your colors and whatnot. That to me is the fun part. Always making sure we are right side up. Now, what I was going to say for this side, if you wanted to, you could do book page here as well, and then you could do a narrower piece of your cardstock and make a flap that way. You know, just as an example, for sure you could. This, however, I'm choosing to do this one here. And you could adjust the size, you know, if you want to make them a little taller, a little wider. Absolutely. I think folios are such a cool idea because you can tuck more things in them. And I included the admin members from our Facebook group, Boho Daydreams, in my list. And I tucked something special inside for each one of them as well that I hope they enjoy opening when they get their packages. So there you go. That's it. That's all that's to it. Like I said, you can adhere it here and here, glue it, put a pocket here. You could even put a pocket there if you want and leave this unglued. You could put another pocket on the back or a side pocket. And then, of course, a little bit of vintage lace on the front. I do have some of this left, just to give you an idea of what it would look like. I like to use thin, fine lace when I'm doing something like this so that you can see the images through it. So there you go, gives you an idea. Easy peasy. So I hope you'll give them a try and let me know how it goes if you're in one of our Facebook groups and you make one of these. Please tag me and let me know. because I'd love to see what you make. There you go. I hope you have a great day, and thank you very much for watching me today.